Hey, my name's Andrea, but most people call me Andy. I'm an aerial guitarist, which means I play guitar while swinging around upside down. And I've got a show coming up in Brisbane, actually. This Saturday, the 5th of July, we're going to be shredding at the Arcana Empress Theatre in Moorooka. Doors open at 7 p.m. You can grab your tickets at andreaguitar.com. And I hope to see a couple of you guys at the show. It's going to be such an epic night. I can't wait for people in Brisbane to see this.
Fantastic, Andrea. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Right, pleasure. So, just to reiterate what you said, you are bringing your Andrea's aerial guitar show to Brisbane this weekend for a one-off show on Saturday, July the 5th at Arcana Empress in Moorooka. So, firstly, have you played Brisbane before?
I haven't played at the Empress before. This is my first time, but I know that it is the venue for aerials and rock shows. So I'm so super keen to check it out. We've done the show in Sydney, Wollongong, and Melbourne, and this is our first time taking the show to Brisbane. So it's going to be a pretty epic night, I think.
It will be. I had a look at some of the photos of the place earlier on, and all I could see was open sky. I couldn't see anywhere where you're going to hook yourself to be aerial. So, hopefully, there is something there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it wouldn't be visible to the naked eye, but yeah, we've got some points there that we're going to be setting up early in the morning so that we can rock from the ceiling for you guys.
Nice. Now, I know the name Andrea's aerial guitar show is pretty self-explanatory, but for the benefit of those who think it sounds too good to be true, run us through exactly what it is.
So the way that I've been describing the show to people is two ways. Either I say to them, look, think of it as like going to see like a guitarist like Joe Satriani or Steve Vai or Nita Strauss. But imagine that during parts of the show, instead of just staying on the ground the whole time, they will climb up a rope and do some guitar solos in midair. Or the other way that I describe it to people is think about a Pink concert, and you know how she does the aerial tricks
Yeah.
in her show. But imagine if Pink was a heavy metal guitarist. So they're the two ways that I usually describe it to people. But the best way to describe it is honestly for you guys to just see the show for yourself. It is hard to really explain the magnitude of the whole show in words, but it really is a visual experience.
Yeah, well, it sounds dangerous though. Like, do you have a safety net or anything?
There's no safety net, absolutely not. But for people that are worried about safety, I have been training in aerial arts for over 10 years.
Right.
And I'm a bit of a scaredy cat myself when it comes to heights. So I can assure you that anything I do in the show, I am very comfortable with. Like, I'm not going to go up there and try a trick that I'm like 50% on. There's no way that a trick like that would be getting put into the show. So I know it can look pretty daunting. Like I have had people come up to me and say that they were holding their breath for the entire show, but I can assure you that everything that I'm doing, I feel completely safe in.
I suppose one of the hardest parts would be making sure the neck of the guitar doesn't get wrapped up in the rope while you're playing. Is that an issue?
Exactly. Yeah. Making sure that the guitar doesn't get wrapped up in the rope, making sure my costume, my hair, I even had my eyelashes get pulled by the rope. I've had the rope whack me in the face.
Oh, no.
There's definitely a lot of that sort of stuff going on and a lot of, I guess, like hurdles that we've had to overcome with putting this show together. And it has been really a really long process being able to tie all the elements of doing aerial and guitar and creating this show. So yeah, definitely. I completely understand your concern about the rope and the guitar.
Like, so do you play your own songs, your own material, or do you do covers of songs that people know and love?
It is a mix of originals and covers. So
Yeah.
there's going to be some covers from some amazing bands that you guys would know, like Iron Maiden, Metallica, even some Australian rock bands in there, mixed in with the original tracks. So it's going to be something for everyone, really.
Well, and is it just you playing guitar, or is there a full band that stays on the ground and doesn't go in the air with you?
I've got a full band
Okay.
show for this, as well as a second aerialist. So it's a full production. I haven't been able to convince the band to climb the rope with me, but I think that will be a work in progress for the next show. Either that, or try and convince the drummer from Motley Crue or Parkway Drive to get one of their contraptions in the show. Could you
That is
imagine? And
epic.
have the drums lifted over the stage, or Parkway Drive's like rotating wheel of death drum thing that they've got going on there. But yeah, I think that would be for future shows.
Cool. And then do you sing as well, or have you got a separate vocalist, or
It's all instrumental. So
all
it's going to be
instrumental?
all instrumental. Yeah, definitely. All instrumental, classic, sort of metal, rock, that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's you really have to kind of come and see it or hear it to hear how we put the compilations together. Because I remember one of the songs we started and someone was saying to me after the show, he was like, oh, I was wondering who was going to sing that song. But then when you see how we do it, you absolutely will
You
forget
wouldn't
that.
notice it. You wouldn't notice that there was no vocals, would you?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So what came first for you, the guitar or the aerobatics?
It was guitar. I've been playing guitar since I was a young kid. Got more serious about it in high school and then even more serious about it after that. And it wasn't until much later that I actually stumbled across aerial arts. And I remember going to my first ever aerial arts class. I didn't even really know what it was. And after my first class, I had already decided that I wanted to do that with a guitar. I did not know how I was going to do it or where I was going to do it or even what I would be capable of doing. But I already knew from that moment that that was what I wanted to do. And from then, I've literally just dedicated like most of my life to it, really, just working on it, trying to come up with tricks that worked with the guitar, and putting this whole show together.
And are you the only person in the world doing something like this? I couldn't imagine there'd be too many.
Not that I could find, because I definitely did do a long, hard search. I found like a couple of guitarists that did sort of the suspension thing where they're kind of like suspended by some kind of a harness or something that they get swung around in, kind of similar to the harness contraption that Pink has in her show. And there's another guitarist that I connected with over in the US that she does like guitar and aerial hoop tricks.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. And so far, they're the only people that I've found. I found a lot of aerial violinists, though. So a little bit of a niche thing. But if anyone's into violin or aerial violin, that seems to be a really popular, like, sort of music and aerial combination. So I thought that was
So
pretty
weird.
interesting. Yeah, literally all these violinists, like classical, highly skilled violinists, but like playing violin whilst doing aerial.
That's amazing. But what made you think look it up there and going, yeah, I reckon I could do that and play the guitar at the same time? Like, what's the thought process?
I think I just thought like, oh, because obviously I knew already that Pink did that sort of thing in her show. And like I said, when I went to this first aerial class, I didn't know what to expect. So when I went in and I saw what it was, the first thing I thought of was Pink. But obviously I'm not a singer. So I thought, I just have to do this with a guitar. I play piano as well, but I thought, I think
Too heavy
guitar
to
is
get up
more
there.
achievable
Too heavy to get a piano
than
on.
trying to lug a piano up there. Yeah, exactly. Could you imagine? But maybe I could work on it for the future.
So which one's harder for you? Like, which one do you have to work at more, the aerobatic side of it or the plan? Or doing it together?
Doing it together definitely has been a bit of a challenge. I used to practice this by hanging off the edge of my bed when I was still living with my parents, just
Oh,
to
really?
practice the like sensation of having the guitar but being played while you're upside down. Because one thing that I never even considered, even without the feats of doing the aerial stuff, is just the fact that when you're playing guitar, like gravity is holding your arms down. But when you're inverted, you have to hold your arms up, which doesn't sound like okay, like that doesn't sound like a hard thing. But after a while, I feel like the blood flow or just the muscular use of just having to actually physically hold them up there and then play. Like I found that my arms would get so tired so easily compared to when I'm just playing upright. So that was an interesting thing that I thought I'd never really thought of that. Like I'm not even doing any of the climbing and my arms are getting so tired just because I have to hold them up now. They're not just like hanging by my side.
It makes sense though, like when you say it, but it's not the sort of thing you'd think about, but it makes sense.
Exactly. Like I thought about the fact that obviously like the climbing and the tricks and all that, yes, that's going to be hard, but literally just physically just hanging there with your arms up
Yeah.
ended up being something that I had to train as well.
Wow. So if people have been listening to this and they're still a little bit like, oh, yeah, I'm not sure what that's going to look like. Like, is there video? Have you got your own website or something where people can check it out?
Yeah, I've got plenty of videos all over my social media pages and on my website as well. So you can definitely check it out for people that want to get a bit of an idea of what the show involves before they see it.
And what's your website address?
So the website, you can visit my website, just andreaguitar.com, or I'm on social media, so like Facebook, Instagram, all those sorts of things.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds like a great night of entertainment to me. So people of Brisbane, is your chance. Saturday, July the 5th, Arcana Empress Theatre in Moorooka. So I'll probably try and pop down and have a look anyway, but thanks for joining us.
No, thanks so much for having us.